Yeah, it was during practice. Just like low-key came out of nowhere. Like, started feeling some pain, talked about it, got it looked at, told me what it was, and, just moved on from there.
How close were you to playing Thursday night?
I was very close. I was down there. At that time when I walked out, I thought, there was a chance I'll play, but went out there.
How much did you miss?
Felt like, it wasn't right, so.
Did it have anything to do with the turf, the reputation there?
Nah, I'm going to have to play on that turf every year for 2 times a year, so it wasn't a turf.
How much did you miss not playing, Jalen?
I miss a lot, man. Just being on the sidelines was never my thing. I never really missed games like that throughout my whole life, college and all. And then how the game went, you just want to be out there to help the guys and be an impact to the team. But, I couldn't do nothing at the time. We on the next week, this week, and thankfully we played them again, next week. So.
It seemed the team was missing physical presence, for lack of a better term there. That's in addition to your talent. Is that something you bring, kind of that personality to the team?
You could say that. I wouldn't say that. I feel like the team was ready. Okay. It's just an off day for us, and we just got to get back to the basics. And that's what we're doing right now. And we ain't even gonna think about last week. We gonna think about this week. Like I said, we played them again. So when we play them again, you can say what you have to say after that score. But we just worry about this week. We got the Vikings.
So, last game aside, like outside of your talent, that personality that you're bringing, is that helpful to the team, would you say?
Yeah, I'd say everybody got their own personalities and what, it helps in different ways, As you could say that, but at the time, guys kind of knew that it was a chance I would. And when it was told that I wouldn't, I let the guys know, and we made adjustments. And so they had the mindset. They knew I wasn't going to be out there, and I was going to be on the side supporting the whole time. But they still came out. They played the game. It didn't go how we wanted to, but it still happened.
How do you feel about your chances for this week?
You said,
how do you feel about your chances for this week?
I feel good. I feel like I'm gonna play this week.
Okay, and then how about the shoulder?
Shoulders feel good. Yeah, my bad. Go ahead. Oh yeah, I got some shots and stuff like that, so it's feeling better. Yes, sir.
Silver lining to that maybe it helped the shoulder.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Was Zadarius Smith retiring suddenly this week? Is that something that you guys expected? Did you talk to him for that?
Nah, I didn't talk to him before. I didn't expect it. I got the news when everybody else got the news, and it's different. I never seen that before, but that's my guy. I just met him, but the weeks he been here, we got 2 sets. We got a stunt together and stuff like that. We had a little chemistry, so it's okay. I'm gonna still talk to him in the off season. I know he's in Orlando, so my little hometown, so I'm gonna be over there. Probably get a workout in together or something.
Jalen, so I know you missed a game and you were dying to play. How much does that add to the hunger that you want to play this week?
It had a lot, and it's like almost like I had a bye week. I'm off. I didn't play, and I'm back this week, so I got more rest time, etc. But I'm ready to play. That's it.
And Jalen, watching the game from the sidelines, and I'm sure watching the film now, what's the biggest adjustment you'd like to see this defense apply this week?
We just got to keep the quarterbacks in the pocket. Coach Vic said that in one of his interviews. One of our struggles is keeping the quarterback in the pocket and stopping him from scrambling. And that's going to be the main thing we can work on this week, because they have 2 awesome quarterbacks over there who's capable of scrambling. And if we stop that, keep them in the pocket. I'm still learning more out the week, but that's just our main goal right now.
Does it make it more difficult to prep not knowing who's going to be starting a quarterback?
I think we have an idea, but you never know. I can't remember who was the quarterback when we played him at 23. I was a rookie, so I was just trying to go. But
they change every year.
Yeah, it's different. But I've seen them quarterbacks before. I got respect for their game, and whoever, when we figure it out who's the starter, we're just gonna make our adjustments and go off there.
No questions?
AJ, a lot of talk about the offensive meaning, of course, when you talk about Kevin Patullo and you talk about you guys having a gathering about where this offense can go going forward. What are your takeaways from that meeting?
Just coming down to executing, doing our job. Right now, we're in a heavy phase of being accountable and holding guys accountable, and just taking that step forward.
Nick used the word adversity a lot today. Do you feel like this is an adverse situation, something to overcome, I guess?
You look at it that way. It's definitely an opportunity to grow from things that we haven't been doing so well, and get this thing on the right page.
AJ, I was just talking to Nakobe, and he said that this
mini bye kind of felt a lot like the bye week from last year, where you guys really got the chance to dig in and self-scout. How was the week for you, and what did that look like?
A lot of film. Took some time to relax and get the body right, but a lot of film and just try to find ways to get better, talk about these things, and have those conversations.
Jalen Carter.
You read my mind.
Yep.
Thank you.
We reviewed it, and you got to put it to bed. It's definitely we treat every game the same. You watch film, you learn from things you do well, learn from things you didn't do well, and you keep going. And you can't harp on a loss, you can't harp on a win. So.
AJ, I think there is, when you think of two buzzwords with this offense, it's predictability and it's being effective and doing your job accountable, like you just said. How are you guys balancing basically what everyone's talking about with this offense when they talk about and mention predictability?
Our job is to just come out and just execute. We can't worry about what people say or if they say that. My job is to go out here and win my route, go back to the huddle. I think everybody has that mindset. I think we'll be fine. So I think you can't worry about what people saying and all that. So.
What's the vibe of the team as you guys try to right the ship?
You tell me. You listen. What you think? Sound normal, huh?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, normal, exactly. So, we're not letting a loss just humble us, and you can't let it humble. You got to keep going, and continue to find ways. This team is fine. This team is motivated and trying to get on the same page.
What do you see as the main issues with the offense?
Main issues? Self-inflicted wounds. Sometimes just lack of execution at the wrong time. If it's first down and you get lack of execution, it may not be the end of the world. But when it happens on third down, or puts us behind the sticks, that's hard to recover in this league. So I just think just being on the same page, and communication, and lack of execution. So.
Execution is definitely something you guys have been talking about all season. And when you look at this roster on paper on offense, you see the talent. What do you feel like is the biggest difference execution-wise this season to last season?
It's a new team. It's a new team, and guys are not playing us the same. That's not an excuse. We have to adapt and to move forward. We can't harp on what happened last year or the team that we have on paper. That doesn't matter. You got to come out and play. And whoever plays with the least amount of mistakes, that's going to win. And at times, we just haven't been doing that. Like I said previous, like the third quarter, it's been really tough for us, and we got to try to turn it around, try to play a complete game. All 4 quarters, especially on offense. So.
How do you feel like the offense has been in terms of the drop back game and being in structure and rhythm?
That may be a question for KP.
Okay.
I know it's earlier in the week, but what are you seeing from this Vikings defense that you guys need to game plan?
No, they do a lot of things, man. They do a lot of coverages. They mix up. They got a good front, and they play extremely hard. They punch the ball out. So, our work is cut out. We're excited. I'm going against Isaiah, which is my friend. So, it should be very fun. So,
obviously, there's a lot of ebbs and flows in sports. Things aren't always going to be great. When things aren't going great, how do you process your frustration? I've asked everyone this. How do you process your frustrations to kind of make sure you guys get out of that rut and not let it snowball?
Just going back to work. And I think that's a simple answer, but I think that's what you have to do. Like I said, you can't harp on a loss, you can't harp on a win. You just got to just find ways to continue to get better, especially when you lose. Though you get motivated to. Like, I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna prove to you. So I think that's the mindset of this team, and we're just trying to turn it around. So.
You know how good you are with contested throws, jump balls. We saw you and Jalen hook up for that one in the Giants game. But it seems like that there hasn't been as many. Is that fair to say? And why do you think that has been the case?
I think that's fair to say. I don't think that's like a knock on anyone. It's just how they're playing us. I really rarely get one-on-one. When I get
there's not less man.
Exactly. We're not getting a lot of man. We're getting a lot of zone, and they're playing also. That moment we had one-on-one, and you better know I'm gonna get it. So.
What was it like, playing the snaps you did play, on special teams and everything?
I mean, it was good being back out there. Man, it was good being back out there. As much as I wanted to play more, it was great being back out there in pads. Even after the game, even after like a tough loss like that, seeing my mama and seeing how happy she was just to see that I kind of got through and persevered through the adversity. And was able to get back out there on the field and suit up. She was seeing her happy, kind of made me cheer up too.
Was it kind of like your timetable for returning? I mean, I know when the injury first happened, you probably had in your mind like a time when you wanted
my personal timetable, I ain't even want to be on Publix, but that was what it was. So as far as everybody else, as far as all the doctors and everything, timetable. I was ahead of the game most of the whole time, but kind of when the Publix failed, then it was like all right. Even though I've been good and had to clear my numbers since about like week 3, it's like all right, come back week 5, you got to practice. We ain't see you practice. Med staff want to see me practice, and then second week I had a short week, so they made a decision. Not to put me on defense, and that's what it was. And now we here week 7, and we're gonna see.
And so, as far as defense is concerned, do you see that as something like probably?
I mean, yeah, I'm just working, getting better day in, day out, controlling what I can control.
How difficult is that? I mean, I remember last year during training camp, you said, I'm in the best shape of my life. Yeah. To have that happen to you, how difficult is that mentally to, keep yourself positive and hold yourself?
Well, I went through that hard mental stage early. I mean, it was early. Like that was. I got hurt in the playoffs. I went through that probably until the NFC Championship game. I get over that fast because it's like you got to work now. You got to get back. Now it's just now the mental block is more so just getting back and playing good ball, great ball. So. Yeah.
All the time you had with Zack last year, do you think you guys will be able to snap back into that if you played next to him?
Yeah, for sure. With all the guys. I mean, I've been here. It's not like I haven't been here every step of the way. I've literally done up until they cleared me to practice, to activate me for practice. I've been to every meeting, every walkthrough. I've been at practice. I haven't practiced. I've been to every game on the sideline, every single thing. So everything's still there with everybody.
When you execute well, Stout has a saying, execution fuels emotion. And that's when people get fired up and work well together, and you get fired up.
A couple days, not away, but a little bit of a break from games. What kind of perspective did you gain about the offensive line and how close you guys are to getting to where you want to be?
Yeah, I mean, just watching the game, I mean, you can't listen to all the outside noise. When you watch the game, we're so close in so many spots, and there's a lot of good stuff you can take away from it. But at the end of the day, you want to teach on all the bad stuff and get that stuff corrected and fixed. We just want to, when play call is made, we need to execute and do well, and you got to check your box off and do your job.
Sam, obviously there's ebbs and flows in sports. Everything's not going to be great all the time. When you're going through some of the down moments the past couple of weeks, how do you channel your frustrations in a positive way to kind of get out of that?
I try not to be frustrated. I try to focus on my job, and you know what, if I'm frustrated at somebody else doing their job not how they should, then I'm wrong because I'm not worried about my job. When I'm worried about other people, then it takes away from me executing my job. And so that's how I focus in.
Cam, everybody kind of talks about how unique Brian Flores' defense is. I know it's early in the week, but what do they do differently that everybody kind of talks about?
Yeah, a lot of their early downs is going to be a lot of base. They're not always going to match personnel. If we go out there and 11 personnel, they might be out there in base and they have five big guys out there, and then when they get to second and long, they're going to treat that like a passing down a lot of times, and they're going to get a lot of junk fronts and like we say, simulated pressures.
Last year you started 2-2 at the bye week. What did you learn about handling that adversity that you feel like you can apply to this season and where you guys are now?
Just dialing in to your own job and just if you're doing well and guys are going to follow, it's you don't press panic, you don't worry about other people doing whatever, you just got to worry about yourself, and not saying like a selfish thing, but I'm saying like if you're worried about everybody else, then your own job's going to slip.
You talk about not panicking and whatnot. What's the vibe of the team after the way last Thursday went, and how eager are you guys to get back out there and right the ship?
I think no matter what, I mean, when you lose to somebody in our division like that, Giants, Cowboys, or Commanders, I mean, the vibe is always bad. You never want to lose to one of those teams. So, yeah, it's not good. And you get a sour taste in your mouth, and, you're excited to, get in, play a new game, and then we're going to see them again in 2 weeks. So I think moral of the story is when you're playing one of those teams, you got to do well. And it's not fun when you lose big away.
And Cam, I think the overarching question for this season, especially when you see the talent on this roster on offense on paper, the execution you guys keep talking about, why do you feel like it was better executed last season than it has been this year?
I mean, we kind of started a little rocky last year, and I mean, this team's always, we got so many impressive people in this room, and that's why I don't have a lot of panic or fear. I feel like last year we constantly got better and better, and that's what we would need to keep doing. Even if it's not a win or a loss, we need to find ways to keep continuing to get better. I thought we had a really good practice out there today.
One play at a time, one day at a time. For real, I'm being dead serious. I don't know. Yeah.
We've talked to you in the past about, finding those little moments to work with Wash. Is that increased? You're just talking about doing the extra work on the edge with Washburn. How much can you do that?
I mean, like I said, man, the biggest thing is just being a lifelong learner, and in that, my profession right now is football, right? So I'm tying everything to that. I'm making sure that I'm paying attention to detail. My IQ level is sharp. I'm understanding the scheme and what's going on, and how, like knowing what's required for me, my job, and what I have to do to be the best version of myself, so we can all be the best version of ourselves.
You got a chance to see Nakobe back on the field last
Hell
week.
Yeah.
What did that mean to you?
It meant a lot, man. Just seeing him out there. That's the same guy that was, just helping our LB room. Be better LBs, and just seeing that guy on the field. And I'm really excited to see him on the defense and make plays, because I'm definitely going to go celebrate with him. I know all the other guys are going to go celebrate with him too, so it's going to be special.
How much did he help you?
Say it again?
How much did Nakobe help you kind of not only adjust the NFL, but like learn
I mean, as a linebacker, you got, it's like mixed emotions in the mind. Like it's a lot of different things that you want to be perfect at, or that you got to diagnose. And I think the biggest thing, with Nakobe is, he simplifies the game, and small details, and helps you understand it from that point of view. So,
has there been anybody on the edge like that for you? Has this helped you in that regard?
What you mean,
like you said, Nakobe helped you.
Oh yeah, definitely. To get to this point in general, I had a lot of people in my life, in my corner to help me mentally, physically, and emotionally.
Here, like when you do take edge reps, is there anybody, player specifically that you?
You got guys like Nolan. You got guys like Aziz, Josh, Jalix. All these guys, Pat Johnson. All these guys, they're there for support. They're there to help. We're all here to help each other. That's what a team. That's what the team is here for. So,
what do you remember about that transition for yourself?
Well, I went the other way. I went from
right.
So that's a lot harder. So what he's doing is, yeah.
Why is it harder?
Going from on the ball to off the ball, that's pretty self-explanatory. You're seeing a lot more. You have a lot more calls to make, everything.
Zadarius Smith retired kind of unexpectedly. How does the defense feel? You're one of the leaders on the defense. How do you feel about somebody retiring?
Yeah, obviously surprised at the timing, but happy for him and whatever he does next. And yeah, kind of unfortunate to lose a piece like that on our defense.
Obviously, that room has taken its lumps with injuries and now Zadarius' retirement. What happens next? What's next for the front of this defense?
Yeah, in that room in particular, I guess people don't know how deep that room is. There's a lot of guys that are itching and scratching to play. and now they're going to get their opportunity to do that and show what they can do.
I apologize for bringing up last Thursday, but after the way that went, especially in the second half, how much more eager are you guys to get back out there and turn things around?
Yeah, no one likes losing, and I was just eager to get back at practice today. It was a long break for me, thinking about the game and kind of sitting on that, but it gave us time to reflect and think about where we're at in the season, and yeah, looking forward to the next game for sure.
What came to mind after some of those reflections?
Oh shoot, a lot of things. A lot of areas to improve on. I think we could stop the run better, letting up a lot of deep balls, a lot of explosive plays, and of course tackling is top of mind as well.
This has always been such a good tackling team. Any theories on why there's been some blips in that?
Yeah, I don't know. I honestly don't know. I know I've had some included. Just technique and tackling and focus.
Looking at the Vikings, what are some unique challenges that they might?
Yeah, it's kind of like a check with me run game. It's a traditional offense with a lot of under center that brings a lot of challenges in the boot department, the play action pass department, and then they got playmakers on the outside.
Can I ask you one more about Jihaad? Just like a lot of coaches would be reluctant to move a rookie, a young guy who's only played a handful of games. What is it about him from what you've seen that kind of has him equipped to be able to handle that?
I think his skill set in the first place, the fact that he's done it before, and then starting him at inside linebacker here gave him a good grasp of the defense. You know, if you play inside linebacker in this position, on this defense, you can play a lot of different positions on this defense as well.
The biggest of that is not really getting the running game going as much as you probably want to first and second downs.
Yeah, the whole deal. We're just not establishing the run game early enough in games, and at all in some games, and so it's definitely an issue that we're trying to correct as an offensive line, because it always starts up front. But all you can do is come back to work and keep putting the work in and correcting it. So.
Did you feel like you made strides in the run game on Thursday, though?
Yeah, we did.
Jordan, you guys were in full pads today. What kind of message does that sound like on Wednesday to get back on the field?
Who said full pads? It was like half. That's pretty real. It was half. I know you guys got eyes out there. You can see half of us were in shorts and others in pants. If you want to oil it down, I'm wearing pants. I'm just playing.
It was a physical practice, right?
It was a good physical practice. It was.
Does that send a message to the team?
It's a good reminder that we got to be. It's a physical game, and we got to be the aggressor. We got to punch first. So.
Do you think that's been an issue, punching first, over the last couple of weeks?
No, I think execution. Execution. It always comes down to execution, because execution fuels emotion. We just haven't been executing. So it's something that we are focusing on, simplifying the game and communication too, so we can just play free.
Last year, the bye week kind of served as an opportunity for you guys to do some self-reflection. What kind of reflection did you do over the 4-day break, and did you come to any sort of realizations?
For me as a player, I was just looking individually how I can help this team, and I think I started that game on Thursday pretty slow. So my intention moving forward is be the aggressor, just be the player that I've always been, and that's how I can help this team out. As a whole, I didn't really think much of it. I kind of took the time to really think about how if each of us can just dominate our box and do our job, then the rest will take care of itself. And I think that's kind of the message I've been saying to my group. That's just, if we're in the gym, let's get a good workout in. Let's put the work in. If we're on the field, if we're in an individual or if we're in team, let's get that work in and let's dominate. Just dominate our box.
A couple of players have talked to us today about the first downs and how it hasn't been successful this season. I'm guessing that's a big point of emphasis in meetings for you guys to continue to say that you need to be better on first downs.
100%. We're just not efficient enough, but I think that just comes down to once again, the execution. Just doing a terrible job.
How challenging is Brian Flores' defense, especially in the pass?
Well, it's like one of those fun bags when you go to a party and you put your hand in and you don't know what toy you're going to get, or if it's a lolly, candy. You guys call it candy. If it's a candy or toy, you just never know what you're going to get first, second down. Tape says what it says, but at the same time, we know that with the Brian Flores defense, expect the unexpected.
Speaking of that, you guys have faced a lot of sim pressures the last couple of weeks. I guess what goes into sorting those out, and what have been some of the challenges?
The challenge is, I thought we've done a good job of, again, getting to our cores, getting to the right guys. I think it's just execution again that fails, not being able to pass off games. To be honest, I think that's what it's come down to. Would you guys agree with that, or
yes.
Would you say? Yeah.
I'm asking you. I feel like you.
Well, I think everyone knows who they're going to. I think it just comes down to execution.
And predictability has been, sorry, Olivia, predictability has been a big buzzword this week. How much can a lack of execution play into that?
Who said that?
Everyone.
Everyone outside this building?
Well, Lane said it too, post game.
Yeah, I think it's been taken and people running with it. I don't think we're predictable. I think we're just not executing, and that is the major part of the game right now. That is probably we're just putting ourselves in predictable situations, meaning we're just getting behind the sticks and we have to throw. There aren't many runs that we can do in second down and 15. There just aren't. And then if you do, you probably gain 5 to 6, 7 yards, and now you're third down and 7, third down and 6. Not many runs out of third down and 6 and 7. That's technically passing down. So, you get a defense that will pin their ears back and just shoot straight upfield, and that kind of sucks. So I think where you are on the field kind of dictates the game, and if we're not executing, then we're behind the sticks and have to pass the ball.
Is it fair to say when this offense becomes a better executed team, the offense can be more creative?
I think if we establish a run game, that'll take care of everything. And like I've said, the last couple of weeks, we're either one block away or the execution just isn't there. So, yeah.
How was it getting Landon back at practice, and how do you look?
Did you guys ask Landon how he felt?
He did not.
Well, damn. I thought he looked good. If you ask him, he might say something different. But, yeah, I thought Landon looked great. So
it was around this time last year when you guys actually did start clicking as an offense and the run game got going. Do you guys look back at that as potentially?
I think yes, we do. Just kind of, check everybody and make sure that everyone's, there's no panic. Can't listen to you guys. Outside this building is kind of crazy, all sorts of craziness. So as a reminder, we kind of just tell them Rome wasn't built overnight. So we just got to keep going, and we do kind of reflect on last year, but not too much. We don't do that a whole bunch, but just a reminder, us vets, we just kind of remind everyone hey, we got to keep this going. Got to stay positive. Can't feed into the negative. Feed the good wolf, not the bad wolf. It's 2 wolves. Good wolf, bad wolf. Don't feed the bad wolf.
Is there causes, or I guess, to why there has been so many execution issues from your perspective?
You just got to want it. This is what it comes down to. Football is a game of inches. Sorry, I've always wanted to say that.
It's good cliche.
But you just got to want it, and I think our focus hasn't been there, quite frankly, and to be really blunt. So it's something that we got to make a choice to every play and every down. So
why do you feel like the focus hasn't been there?
Just the film. You turn the film on, that's just okay, we weren't focused here. I'm not going to sit there and ask why they weren't focused. Just hey, do your job. Just do your job. I got to do my job. They got to do their job. Everyone's got to do their job, which is why after the bye week that we had, little mini bye week, so I was like, just do your job. Don't look at anything else. Just dominate your box, and everything will take care of itself. If everyone could just do that, that's the message. Dominate your job.